What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Delay of Game, episode 113. This is the average man's perspective on football. I am your co-host, Marcus. Joining me on the panel tonight is Herman. Say what up, Herman.
Hey.
Next up, we got Brian. Say what up, Brian.
Thank you for joining us.
You'll be playing with LeBron James and Anthony Davis.
They'll be playing with me.
Yeah?
I made the playoffs last year. They didn't. It's different.
Next up, we got Mark. Say what up, Mark.
Good evening.
And me, I'm 56 years old. Damn.
I'm sorry.
I love that. Before we get started, I want to encourage everyone to like, share, and subscribe, especially if you watch it on YouTube. You can catch us on Facebook and our Facebook group, Delay of Game. We're on Twitter at Delay of Game 3 and on Instagram at the official Delay of Game. So week 3 is in the books. We got a lot to talk about this week. We're not yet a quarter of a way through. I guess 17 games. We'll be quarter some change this week, I guess. Yeah. But we're starting to see what teams are made of a little bit. I mean, it's a long season. But we're starting to see a little bit of what teams are made of. And I believe Herman is hosting tonight. Am I right?
Sir. That's correct.
Go ahead and take it away, Herman.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Of course, we're going to go ahead and hit some NFL news for the week. Then we're going to roll into our hot topics where we're going to discuss some NFL things that we deem to be necessary to be discussed. We will hit last week's predictions and go through those, and then we'll roll into this week's predictions, and then we'll close out the show. So I'm going to throw it back to Marcus for the first news story of the week.
Sure. So the 2023 Super Bowl halftime entertainer is Rihanna. This is the first halftime show under the new sponsorship deal with Apple Music.
All right. So interesting. Guess they're going to make that a big deal. All right. I'll roll into the next.
It is a big deal.
No, I mean the Apple Music part. I think they're going to make that part.
Yeah.
I like. And
Rock Nation is involved with
Yeah, I like the choice.
Well, I mean,
I think it's going to be a good show.
Jay-Z pretty much decides the halftime shows.
So
of course Rihanna's going to be up there.
Because look, the last 2 years, you see what it's been. So, hey, let's keep it rolling.
He pretty much decides the halftime shows. So, it is what it is.
I ain't mad at him.
I ain't mad at him either. All right. So, in other news, I'll take this one. Patriots quarterback Mac Jones will likely miss several weeks with a high ankle sprain. Jones suffered the sprain during Sunday's 37-26 home loss to the Baltimore Ravens. He looked to be in a significant amount of pain. There was a video of him on Twitter just screaming in pain while they were taking him back to the locker room. So that's gonna be a big blow for the Patriots and for him. He's still a young quarterback starting to develop.
And Hoyer starting in his place?
Yeah, Hoyer's going to be starting in this place.
So. Yeah, I know they're still trying to evaluate exactly how they want to try to handle this injury.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's a possibility for surgery, I think, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that bad? The high ankle sprains usually require surgery? Or are you just
when they're really bad.
Well, think about it, Marcus. He couldn't walk on it.
Yeah, at all. He
couldn't walk at all.
Nothing on that.
That's pretty bad.
It's almost worse. Like high ankle sprains are almost worse than getting breaks. Sometimes they said.
Yeah,
breaks tend to heal faster.
So,
yeah. Next news story, we're gonna throw it to Brian. Brian.
All right. Monday afternoon, Myles Garrett was involved in a single car accident. His 2021 Porsche went off the side of the road and flipped several times. Garrett and his female companion were both wearing seatbelts, and their injuries were not life-threatening. Also, alcohol and drugs were not a factor.
Yeah, they came out today and said that he was swerving to avoid an animal.
Okay.
Went off the road.
So even damage.
Yeah, but they always tell you don't swerve to avoid an animal, but I guess you probably didn't want to plow your 20.
Well, depending on the animal, they were like, if it's a deer or something, but if it's like a moose, you better swerve. Enjoy like hitting a tree.
Yeah. But in a 2021 Porsche, it's probably hitting a deer is probably like hitting a tree too,
Yeah, plus it's low to the ground, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah. All right, Mark, go ahead and take this last story for us.
Monday, the National Hurricane Center upgraded Hurricane Ian to a Category 2 storm. The Buccaneers evacuated Tuesday to Miami, where they will spend the rest of the week practicing. The NFL is monitoring the situation to determine if the Bucs can host the Chiefs Sunday night or if other arrangements need to be made. As far as the other arrangement is, I guess they're going to decide to move the game to Minnesota if need to. So that'll be the alternative plan if they can't play the game Sunday night.
So Miami's not, because I know they had mentioned that Miami was not playing at their home stadium.
Right. No, they didn't want to because they're down there in the Florida, Tampa area. They didn't want to take all the resources from that area, to if there's emergency and so forth. So that's why they say they want to do it in Minnesota. So we need to be watching that one. Keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, there were some videos of it today, and it looked pretty bad down there.
Yeah, it got up to I think it got up right to a category 4. It was close to a 5 when it hit land. So, prayers to everybody out there, and in that area that's affected by this, and hopefully,
absolutely.
All right, so those are our news topics of the week. We will now move into the hot topic of the week, items that we deemed that needed to be discussed. So the first topic we're going to talk about, the NFL has decided to change the Pro Bowl. They've eliminated the game, and they're replacing it with a week of skills competitions and a flag football game the Sunday before the Super Bowl, I believe is when they said the flag football game will be played. Let's hear your thoughts on this. I will let Mark start this one off. Mark, what you think?
I mean, I don't think it really matters. I think the Pro Bowl lost its glory when they stopped putting it down in Hawaii. They're not playing tackle no way in the Pro Bowl game for the last 5 or 6 years. So I don't think it really matters. I think it's great for the kids. It gives them a more insight, or it make them more interested in it too because of the flag football situation. And it should be fun. The competition is normally fun. So on that aspect, I mean, I don't feel any different way either way about the Pro Bowl. To me, it's just I hate that they do it before the Super Bowl instead of afterwards. So I probably will still watch it because I'm a football fan, but I don't think it makes a difference either way.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, Mark. The Pro Bowl has been lost its luster, and I think the week of the skills competition would be interesting. And like you said, I think the flag football will bring the younger kids and make that a little more interesting. I don't have a problem with them eliminating the game, honestly, because the last thing you want to see, and these are the top tier players in the NFL, and the last thing you want to see is one of them get hurt off of a game like this, even if they moved it after the Super Bowl. They get hurt, and then you've lost your top tier player almost for a full year of a real season. So, I mean, I get it that there's injuries in the game, and you can't play scared, and this, and that, but this one just isn't one that's worth risking. Like, it's different than baseball and basketball because it's a physical sport. Football is a physical sport. Nobody's out there, tackling anybody in basketball or in baseball. So they can afford to play the games like they regularly would with their regular games. But unfortunately for the NFL, it just doesn't work that way. So I think it's an okay move. I don't think it's going to bring more people to watch it. I don't know if it'll make less people watch it because I don't know how many people are honestly watching it right now, to tell you the truth. It kind of one of those, it is what it is. Marcus?
So my opinion on this, much like you guys said, I haven't watched the Pro Bowl game in years, probably like 2 decades. It doesn't appeal to me. It doesn't seem like, no one's going to come out there. No real professional football player who's actually worried about, getting hurt is going to come out there and play 100%. Occasionally you hear about this big hit or whatever. That's some dude just looking to knock somebody out and not take into account that he could get hurt as well. The flag football game, I think that might be nice. I've seen a couple of other flag football games, competitive flag football games on YouTube, other places. Some of those can be really, really good. So I think to me it's a much better alternative than tackle. You can still get very much hurt in a flag football game, but
you can.
but you're not going to be taking hits and things like that. And as far as the skills game is concerned, I mean, I guess it'd be good, but to be honest, I'd like to see maybe another alternative. Something like one of these, you know how you got these crazy like overseas Asian game show type formats doing crazy stupid stuff on, you know, just crazy stupid stuff, or something like American Ninja Warrior. You know, let's see some of that.
Yeah, I think you'd get hurt doing that too.
I mean, yeah, but you know, all these athletes, you know, they talk about Jalen Hurts. He can squat 600 pounds. Well, I want to go see him do some American Ninja stuff. I want to see, you know, what these dudes, you know, they always brag about who the fastest and who could do this and who could do that. Let's see.
But don't you think the skill challenge gives you that opportunity?
Yeah,
that's skill challenges, right? Nobody wants to see quarterbacks throwing footballs through some holes down the field. No, I don't want to see all that nonsense. That's
they might change something though. It may be something a little different, you know.
I'd rather see if they, you know, instead of doing that, they should have like you know how you got the shotgun when you're shooting them with this. They should do some disc in the air and see if they can, you know, do some tricks with the football to get the disc out there.
It's still a skill.
Yeah, but it's boring. I'd rather see something, you know, something entertaining. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I probably wouldn't watch it either way. But you know, it is what it is. But yeah, Pro Bowl was no, it was terrible and it lacked its luster. And like you said, Mark, you know, if he was going to do anything, it should be after the Super Bowl. Well, it should be before the Super Bowl. Is it before or after?
It's before. I liked it better when it was after the Super Bowl.
Used to be after back in the day.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think either way would matter. But yeah, it is what it is.
Brian.
All right, so I need to pull the curtain back a little bit because I know when we had this text message about this conversation, and I said, why do we want to talk about this stupid Pro Bowl? And I know somebody thought that it was a good idea. So now all three of y'all think it's dumb?
No, I didn't say it was dumb.
No, I didn't say the idea was dumb.
Yeah, I said
the idea was dumb. I
didn't say it was a dumb idea. I just said we should. I said
you definitely said it was dumb. You definitely said it was
me.
Dumb. Yeah,
me. No, you said it was dumb.
Stupid.
Oh, I definitely said it was.
I said it was a good idea.
Marcus said it was a good idea. You said it was dumb, and that's why he decided.
He just said it's a good idea. Then he's ragging at how he never watches it. And then he's not going to watch it again. So what are you talking about? How can it be a good idea?
Just because something's a good idea and I'm not going to participate in it, don't mean it's not a good idea.
I'm just not for it. I got it.
I'm sure swimming with the sharks for some people is a good idea, but I'm never going to do it.
Me neither, Marcus.
Well, basically, next time we probably should have came up with a better one because we all agree on this one that it's not going to watch it, don't really care.
I didn't say I wasn't going to watch it either.
Oh, okay. Well, Mark said he's probably not gonna watch it. And Marcus said he never watches it.
I'm gonna watch it, Brian. I will be watching it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not gonna watch it. I have no interest in watching them play flag football or to do any of these skill contests.
What about dodgeball?
No, heck no. What does dodgeball have to do with football? Nothing.
It's got skills and the same skills.
Every other one has a game. Every league, baseball, basketball, all have a game.
Non-physical games.
The NFL's game was non-physical. Like y'all said, the offensive and defensive linemen basically just laid on each other during the game. and people just fell down. You know, they didn't try to tackle. They pushed you or whatever. It was a basic game. The only thing that made it a little bit fun was there was a little bit of money involved. So in like the third and the fourth quarter, you did start to get a little more aggressive. You did get to see you got to see kind of a little better game. So A, put it back in Hawaii. B, put it back after the Super Bowl so people who win the Super Bowl can participate instead of already declining because they're in the Super Bowl. You know, back in the day,
most time they did.
Everybody used to come to the back in the day. Everybody used to come. I remember waiting. Yes, they absolutely did. They absolutely. There was no such thing as not going into the Pro Bowl unless you were injured.
I'm gonna tell you,
honor to go into the Pro Bowl.
Free agents are the ones who went to the Pro Bowl because they were making deals.
That is not true.
They invited their families there. It was a family gathering,
and it was a big thing when the Super Bowl winning quarterback and that team came in. All the other players would applaud them and give them their due.
And the losing team never showed up.
They always showed up. You need to go back in time before they put it before the Super Bowl. Now you're right. Now they're like, oh, thank you, but no, thank you. Back in the day, they always showed up. They absolutely. Mark, you're the oldest here. Please tell Herman
Absolutely
They
not.
did. They showed up. Peyton
Absolutely
not.
showed up. All of them showed
Everybody
up.
didn't. Everybody
At
didn't
the
always
end of the
show up.
season,
because
John
a lot of
Elway
times-
used to show up.
almost-
Troy Aikman showed
almost
up.
always the teams who had the losing Pro Bowlers did not show up. They lost
No,
their
that's
Super
not
Bowl. They
true
did
because
not
the
show up.
Buffalo was
Pro Bowl.
always there. Jim Kelly was
Jim
always
Kelly was
there.
always
No,
there.
sir.
Thank you.
Absolutely,
Thank
he
you.
was.
Absolutely.
No, sir.
You better go check that one, Herman.
Yeah, they
Seriously.
absolutely were there. You can keep saying no, but you're wrong.
No, sir.
But I agree with you guys. You know,
And I can mute you too.
I don't think. I think that if it's going to be a game, it's going to be and it's not supposed to be a serious game, but it needs to resemble football, not flag football,
resembles football.
but actual
Yeah,
football.
flag football resembles football. Hence the name
No, it
football.
doesn't.
You can have
No, it
blocking if
I've never seen nobody running around with flags and then snatching them in an NFL game. Okay, never.
They run around with towels and get snatched.
This guy
They
likes
aren't gonna-
ties.
If they're playing flag, they're not going to be wearing helmets or anything. They're going to be running around in the t-shirts and.
Who
and
said that they're not going to wear helmets?
I
No,
bet
they wear
you they
helmets.
don't.
In some flag football,
They
And,
do
and,
wear
and
helmets.
shoulder
wear
pads,
helmets.
and they're going to be wearing shoulder pads.
No, but they do wear helmets.
Thank you.
but they do
Thank
wear
you.
Not the
It's
hard
not
ones, but they wear the
football.
soft ones. They wear the
And it's
soft
not
ones.
football.
There's
I'm
no
not-
debating. There's no debating this. This guy likes ties in the NFL. So
He does. He does. You know, because I don't want to get nobody injured. Just like you
Play
want to get nobody injured in a
tie
Pro Bowl,
the
I don't want to
game.
get nobody injured the first game of the season just because it happens to go
Let's
to
play
a tie.
to tie the game. Like
Hey,
who says that? Who does that?
Anything to keep going. Anything to
does
keep going.
All right, let's move on to the next topic. So the NFL.com, let's be specific. NFL.com came out with their week 4 power ranking.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm going to read them off to you guys, and then we're going to trash this list. Okay, it's terrible.
There's only one reason y'all want to trash the list.
No,
it's not
this-
just that.
this list
It's not
is-
just
yeah,
that.
this
I
is-
think mine's changed too, Marcus.
Yeah.
So it ain't just that.
So they have the Eagles ranked at number 1, previously number 3. The Buffalo Bills ranked at number 2, previously number 1. The Miami Dolphins ranked at number 3, previously number 8. The Green Bay Packers at number 4, previously ranked at number 5. The Kansas City Chiefs are ranked at number 5, previously ranked at number 2. The Los Angeles Rams are ranked at number 6, and they were ranked at number 6 last week. The Baltimore Ravens are ranked at number 7, previously ranked at number 10. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are ranked number 8, previously ranked number 4. And the Minnesota Vikings ranked at number 9, previously ranked at number 2. And round out the top 10 is
Number 11. Previous rank was number 11.
I'm sorry, previous rank was number 11. The number 10 ranked team is the Cincinnati Bengals, and they were previously ranked at 12. So, Brian, I'll let you start this one off. Give us your order.
Okay, so my biggest beef is with number 1. I do believe that Miami should be number 1 over Philadelphia based on the talent and the teams that they played. Philadelphia played the Lions, the Commanders, and the Vikings.
Mhm.
The Vikings are the only team that might, be in the running for the playoffs or something. I mean, actually, I take that back because the Lions are actually playing pretty good, but none of those teams were like we were scary or had them ranked fairly high. The Dolphins beat I just went off the top of my head. The Dolphins just beat Baltimore, Buffalo. No, they beat Buffalo. They beat Buffalo. They did beat Baltimore. They beat Buffalo, and who else?
Baltimore and who was the first week?
When the first
Forget who the first one.
I cannot remember. I keep going. I'll look up for you.
Okay, so I mean, out of there, everybody knows that the Bills are destined.
New
for
England,
the Super Bowl. New England. The Bills are destined to go to the Super Bowl. Everybody knows that. That the Miami actually played higher competition, especially with the Baltimore game. I mean, they had to come back from such a far distance, and we all pretty much agree that more than likely Buffalo is going to be in the playoffs, Baltimore is going to be in the playoffs. So on that alone, I'd like to flip those two. The other issue, of course, you guys know I have is I don't understand how a team with a lower record is ranked higher than the other team. So number 9. Number 9.
Well, give us your list.
Give us your order. Do you
I
have
didn't do a list. I just did the ones I didn't like.
Okay.
Ain't you the one put the story in there, and then you said we was gonna list our order, and then you didn't
I
list
said
your
you
order.
can list it. I just didn't want to list it.
Herman, next time make him last. But go ahead.
Yeah, I would have.
Basically.
If I know he's going to do it like this.
Basically, Tennessee should not be ahead of the Cowboys. The Niners should not be ahead of the Cowboys. The Bengals, who the Cowboys beat, definitely should not be ahead of the Cowboys. So the
Basically, put the story in
Cowboys
there
should
to
be number 10.
Cowboys.
The Bengals should be not ahead of a lot of people. So.
Right. So the Cowboys should be number 10, and then y'all can play it out the rest of the way y'all want.
All right. So now let's go to somebody who actually did a list. Hey, Mark.
I did.
I definitely agree with Brian with the number one being the Dolphins. From what the victories they've gotten, the teams they played, they definitely deserve it. Well, my number one is the Dolphins. Number 2, the Eagles. Number 3, I have the Baltimore Ravens. Number 4, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. Number 5, I have the Buffalo Bills. Number 6, I have the Green Bay Packers. Number 7, I have the Dallas Cowboys. Number 8, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 9, I have the LA Rams. And rounded out Minnesota Vikings at number 10. But I agree with you on that one, Brian, as far as how you have somebody with a losing record less than the other team be ahead of you.
How come you put Tampa Bay above the Cowboys above Tampa Bay?
I did. Y'all win. I mean, y'all won.
I mean, but Tampa beat us.
True, but Tampa.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing. I love your list.
You guys seem to be on the more upcline than what Tampa is right now. So that's why I ended up putting you all up there.
With a backup quarterback.
Yeah. So.
All right, go ahead, Marcus.
So both Brian and Mark stole my glory. I do have Miami ahead of the Eagles as number 1 because, like Brian said, who they played. I mean, they beat the Ravens and the Bills. That counts for something when you're beating somebody who's expected to be in the Super Bowl this year. And the Ravens are definitely a great team and expected to make the playoffs. So then I got Miami as number 1, number 2 the Eagles, number 3 Buffalo, number 4 the Chiefs, number 5 Green Bay, and this is where y'all gonna roast me. Number 6 the Browns, number 7 the Vikings, number 8 the Titans, number 9 the Giants, number 10 the Jaguars.
What the?
Can I ask you a question real quick, Marcus?
Yes, sir.
Who has the Jaguars played?
It doesn't matter. They 2-1.
They just beat the Chargers.
Yeah, they did just beat the Chargers, but
they did beat the Chargers.
Okay,
they did.
Right.
So that's why the Jaguars are there, and I can't believe we put the Vikings in that mix. But aside that one blowout by the Eagles, they've been looking pretty good. And the Browns, they kind of impressed me last week. Sorry, Mark, but they kind of impressed me last week. They do have number 1 rushing game in the league, so that's why they're there. And obviously, you see Tampa Bay is not there. I think Tampa Bay is done, to be honest with you. Tom Brady, he's not looking like he used to.
has no receivers.
Yeah,
true.
His receivers are coming back.
Yeah.
Well, when they come back, then we can.
They'll be back. He got Evans coming back this week, so
yeah. So I'm gonna give y'all my list because these weekly power rankings, they need to stop just changing them weekly. Like they're not projecting with these power rankings. So I have the Bills still at number 1. I have Miami at number 2.
You got the Bills number 1?
Yes, I have the Bills at number 1. They lost one game. It was a hiccup game. They actually could have beat Miami. So I have the Bills at number 1. I have Miami at number 2. I have the Chiefs at number 3. Y'all gonna put some respect on them Rams at number 4, okay? They were the Super Bowl champions. We're gonna respect the Rams at number 4. I got the Ravens at number 5. I got the Bucks at 6, the Eagles at 7, the Packers at 8, the Cowboys at 9, and the Vikings at 10.
I don't see how.
Miami beats.
You're biased.
Right.
I'm not biased. I'm looking long term. I'm not looking about.
We talk about this week.
Just happened.
This week.
No bias is showing. This is the
Miami
power,
and the Eagles should be 1 and 2. Miami
no way.
Should be 1
and 2. The Eagles have not played anybody.
It doesn't matter. You play who's
no. I'm looking at if I match up the Bills and the Eagles, I'm taking the Bills. If I match up Miami and the Eagles, I'm taking Miami. If I match up the Chiefs and the Eagles, I'm taking the Chiefs. I'm taking the Rams. I'm taking these teams over the Eagles. No, I'm not. I'm not. The Eagles.
I'm not saying I wouldn't take who you said take, but you act like it's a done deal. Eagles.
No, you know why the Eagles look so good? Because the Eagles were so bad last year. That's why they look so good now. This is 3 games in.
And that's what we're talking about. 3 games
are not the top team in the NFL. They're not the top team in the NFL. The Eagles.
They are. They're undefeated.
They are not.
They're undefeated. If
So
they're
you're telling
number
me
two,
right now, if the Bills play the Eagles, you're taking the Eagles?
probably not.
See,
but,
the
it's-
pause
but,
alone-
but I will admit it's very possible Philly can beat the Bills. They could. Do I
But your
think they
pause
will?
alone tells me that they're not number one. Because if
They're
I was-
undefeated. The Bills not undefeated.
if they're number one, like remember the year
They're number
that
two.
the
They're number
Chiefs
two
were
behind
running all up and down the field on people,
About 2 years
and
ago.
you would be like any year that you but that year when the Chiefs were ranked number one, if you said I'll take whoever against the Chiefs, you immediately would say the Chiefs. You're not immediately saying the Eagles because they're not as good as you don't believe that they're that good.
Well,
Yeah, but in
this
the same
week
context,
they are. I
in
mean,
the
I
same
want to see them.
context, if you put the Eagles up against the Rams, I'm picking the Eagles.
I'm picking the Rams.
Hey Herman, the only thing I had to argue with you about is there's only 2 teams that's undefeated right now in the NFL, and that's Miami and the Eagles.
And it's just because I might not.
They still not.
And the only reason I'm not
number
picking the
one
Eagles
team.
to beat those teams you listed is because those teams have been good for a while.
And that's why, that's
and-
exactly why the power ranking should not be just off week by week by week.
But it is a week by week
Yeah,
power
it is.
ranking.
So,
That's
but what I'm
exactly
saying
what it
is if this week, if you took this week, and the Bills had to play the Eagles, who are you picking?
I'm
Bills.
picking the Bills
So why are the Eagles number one?
because even though I would pick the Bills, I fully believe I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Eagles
Yeah,
beat them.
because the
But you
Bills
don't
lost to
believe in the
Miami.
Eagles.
You
The Bills lost to
last week when we made our picks, you picked the Bills over Miami. Miami
I
beat
did.
them.
They did.
So
But
I
this
mean,
week,
how
if the
does
Bills
a team jump it in your mind if they beat them head up and they still don't get their respect from them?
because if they played again this week, I'd still take the Bills
Hey Herman,
Against who?
It's
against
Herman.
Miami.
Herman, it sounds like you're hating against the Eagles.
No,
Yeah, he's
I'm
biased.
not.
That's
There's
that
no.
voice.
I'm
not.
just saying.
I'm just
But
telling
I mean,
you
it's
that,
actually he's not a big fan of Miami either.
I'm just telling you that if out of the teams I put on top of the Eagles, I believe that those teams could beat the Eagles this week.
They
played.
might. They might. They very well could. But
So that's my power ranking.
we talking about right now. They 3-0.
That's what I said. I said this week. If the Eagles had to play any of those teams I put on top of them, I believe those teams would beat them. That's how many teams I believe would beat the Eagles. If I was being biased as the Eagles, I would put the Cowboys above them. So I'm not being biased. I'm going off of who I think could beat the Eagles this week. And I truly believe that the Bills, Miami, the Chiefs, the Rams, and the Ravens, maybe I should put them above the Bucks because the Bucks couldn't beat them unless they had their full arsenal. But that's who I believe could beat could beat the Eagles this week. So, I'm not just going off of who beat who last week. I'm going off of who could beat who this
Well, that
week.
counts. You
I
gotta
mean, if
judge
that's the
scripture
case,
by-
your rankings would never change.
Not necessarily. If a team starts to if a team starts to decline and they're on the down,
I just-
but I don't see the Bills. Even
You
though the
can't
Bills
disagree,
lost,
Marcus. It's his ranking. He can make his ranking how he wants.
even though the Bills lost,
It's in his mind.
I just
It's
don't
in his
see.
mind.
I don't see them slipping. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I mean, I don't see the
like,
Bills slipping. I don't see the Bills slipping either. I mean,
So y'all think the Bills run the table the rest of the year?
No,
No, I'm just saying I
No.
don't see them starting to decline. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
like you can lose
Yeah,
a
I'm
game
saying
and
I
not
don't
be in
see them starting
decline.
to decline.
Everybody gonna lose eventually. You can
Right,
lose a game and not be in
exactly.
decline.
But I just haven't seen the Eagles beat anybody either. That's really worth. Sorry, not. I mean, that's just.
I guess I want just before I let you real quick. How come Cincinnati's not higher?
Why would they be when they're
Because
struggling?
you said put respect on the Rams because they won the Super Bowl. But Cincinnati
And the
was
Rams
right
are
there
still
and
good.
had an opportunity to beat the Rams in the Super Bowl.
But the Rams are still good right now.
Right, but
I'm talking about-
Cincinnati beat Buffalo. They beat your Kansas
In the
City Chiefs
past.
last year
I-
in
what-
the playoffs.
but
Your
no.
whole thing is based on the past.
No, it's not. I just said to you, put respect on the Rams because the Rams are better than what they're putting on the field.
No,
What
you
did I
said
just
because
say?
they
You
won
can't
the
be- you
Super
can't be
Bowl
better than
is
what you put on the
said.
field.
No,
Yeah.
but what did I
can't be
what did
better
I
than what
just
you put on
say
the field.
though? I said if you take this week and I take the Bengals against the Bills, who's winning that game?
The Bills.
The Bills. Miami's beating the Bengals. The Chiefs.
But
are
then
beating
again,
the Bengals.
in the
The Rams are
playoffs, you
beating
probably
the
thought the Bills were going to beat the Bengals last year too. I know
Yeah, I
I
did.
did.
But again,
So-
this is the
And you know, I don't like
Bengals
rooting for the
they're
Bengals at all
they're
because you know I
one
don't want
and-
Mike
they're one and-
hearing that I
yeah.
say that the Bengals got some talent.
You don't want to hear nothing about no.
Tell me,
chicken
you like reading for the
sandwiches and all
Steelers,
that,
but more so than the Bengals, don't you? Mike
All right,
Tomlin.
Let's not get crazy. Let's not get crazy. We probably need to move on, y'all. It's 8:30.
Yeah, let's move on. But that's my rankings, and I'm sticking with them. All right, let's move into. We're gonna start review the games this week. We're gonna start off with the Thursday nighter. The Pittsburgh Steelers travel to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Mitch Trubisky was 20 for 32, 207 yards passing, no touchdowns, no interceptions. He was sacked 3 times. Najee Harris rushed 15 times for 56 yards and 1 touchdown. Leading receiver for the Steelers was Dante Johnson. He had 8 catches for 84 yards. Steelers had 2 turnovers. And the Browns, Jacoby Brissett was 21 for 31, 220 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. He was sacked 2 times. Nick Chubb, 23 carries, 113 yards, 1 touchdown. Kareem Hunt, 12 carries, 47 yards, and no touchdowns. Leading receiver for the Cleveland Browns, Amari Cooper, 7 receptions, 101 yards, 1 touchdown. Njoku, the tight end for the Browns, he had 9 catches for 89 yards and 1 touchdown. And the Cleveland Browns had no turnovers. Doesn't look like, yeah. So we'll start off with Marcus. Who'd you pick? Wait a minute. Marcus, yeah. Who'd you pick for this one?
I picked the Steelers. I was wrong. I had a little bit more faith in the Steelers than I should have had for this game. I'm surprised the defense. Cleveland just ran up and down the field on them. They had 171 yards rushing. Can't have that. I believe the Mitch Trubisky scrimmage should be over. Let's go ahead and throw Kenny
What's
Pickett.
his name?
Mitch Trubisky.
Okay, thank you.
It should be over. And go ahead and throw Kenny Pickett up in there and let's get this thing back on, of course, Mike Tomlin, a.k.a. Omar. But yeah, I picked the Steelers and I was wrong. And what's going on in my house?
I sound like thunder.
Yeah, it's
That's your dog, Herman?
Yep.
You couldn't hear him breathing?
Right. I'm trying to get him away from the all right. Yeah, I picked the Steelers in this one too. If we pick Steelers games, I will never pick the Steelers again if Trubisky is playing. Y'all know how I feel about Trubisky, okay? He's trash.
Like
Bottom
Marcus
line.
feels about Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, put the rookie in, man. Just put the rookie in. I mean, I get it. He had 220 yards passing. No touchdowns, no interceptions, but he's averaging 6.5 yards per pass. He's doing nothing. The Steelers need to figure out a way to get the ball, run the ball, get the run game going. You guys got to get the run game going, and go ahead and just put the rookie in. There's no point in the rookie can do this. I'm sure he can do this. So you might as well get him in there, get him the experience, and regroup for next year because this season's done. You're not going to be competitive, not with Trubisky anyway. Brian, who'd you pick on this one?
So I did pick this one right. I did pick the Browns. Cleveland ran 71 offensive plays for 376 yards, and the Steelers ran 55 plays for 308 yards. The time of possession was in favor of the Browns, 36 minutes and 9 seconds to 23 minutes and 51 seconds. So statistically, actually, they were all pretty close in this game. Like Marcus said, the Browns were able to run the ball pretty effectively against the Steelers, which ultimately gave them the victory. But I picked the Browns, and I picked it right.
And Mark, go ahead and wrap this one up.
Yeah, I mean, the Steelers were criticized for not throwing the ball deep
Wait,
the
who'd you
last 2
pick,
weeks.
first?
Trubisky launched a few long passes, but they didn't connect it.
Well,
Well,
They had a sweet-
there was a sweet one.
There was a sweet catch by George Pickens on one of them, that Odell Beckham type catch. That was nice. But Marcus, you on point there. They didn't do a good job of stopping the run at all. They ran up and down on the Steelers running. I took the Browns in this one, and I won it, but the Steelers are not looking too good right now.
So you picked against your Steelers.
I sure did.
But you got it right. So hey, that's that's a good prognosticator right there when you pick.
He's easy on that picking against your other team, Herm.
Thank you, Brian.
I digress. Moving on to the next game. We have the Las Vegas Raiders traveled to Tennessee to take on the Tennessee Titans. David Carr was 20 for 44, 303 yards.
What are you putting that on for?
Yeah, he picked it.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
I'll ask no question, sir.
Continue.
You just
Continue.
David Carr was 26 for 44, 303 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and he was sacked 1 time. Josh Jacobs, 13 carries for 66 yards, no touchdowns. Leading receiver was Mac Hollins, 8 receptions, 158 yards, and 1 touchdown. On the flip side, Devontae Adams, who they paid all the money for and paid all that money for, 5 receptions, 36 yards. That is not going to cut it.
He did have a touchdown.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, a touchdown. The Raiders had 1 fumble. On the flip side, the Tennessee Titans, Ryan Tannehill, 19 for 27, 264 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and was sacked 1 time. Derrick Henry was starting to look a little bit more like Derrick Henry, 20 carries, 85 yards, 1 touchdown. And the leading receiver for the Titans was Robert Woods. He had 4 receptions for 85 yards. Interestingly, Derrick Henry had 5 receptions for 58 yards. So he was actually the second leading receiver on that one. Mark, who'd you pick in this one?
I took the Raiders, and I lost this one. Kind of close game towards the end. Wilder had a pass that deflected off of him, got intercepted by Titans safety that would have put the game in 3 points. Another name that you guys that you said, Mac Hollins. Where this man come from? He come from nowhere. With having Adams, Waller, and Renfro, this dude was uncovered. He couldn't cover this guy going downfield, man. They had a chance to actually tie it up, but they missed a 2-point conversion. But I took the Raiders in this one, and I lost it.
Brian, who'd you have?
Yeah, I was with you, Mark. I took the Raiders, and like y'all saying, that dude Hollins, man, apparently he's going to be fantasy gold because everybody's picking him up. But the 2 teams, like Mark said, it was real evenly matched, man. The total yards for Vegas was 396. The Titans was 361. Each had an interception. Time of possession was real close, 30 minutes and 45 seconds for Vegas, 29 minutes and 15 seconds for the Titans. Like I said, Mark, the game basically came down to a missed 2-point conversion. So I picked the Raiders, and I picked this one wrong.
Yeah, I picked the Raiders on this one too. I was with you guys. They have too much talent to be losing some of these games, and the only thing that I can point at is Josh McDaniels. Y'all, when we predicted earlier in the season, I said, Raiders are going to be good if Josh McDaniels doesn't do Josh McDaniels, and now he's doing Josh McDaniels. I mean, I have to point it at him because you have the same quarterback, you have the same tight end that was there last year, you have the same running back, and then you got an elite wide receiver, and your team is playing bad. McDaniels, you're the denominator. I mean, is his system too complex? Yeah, is it, what is it? I'm putting it on him. So I'm not picking the Raiders again until he's gone either. So if we pick any more of their games, I sure won't be picking Josh McDaniels Raiders to win. I don't care what they're doing. But I picked this one wrong. Marcus?
All right, speed. We're running out of time.
Yeah, hurry up. We need to get through
Can we
this.
speed this up?
I told y'all Tennessee wasn't gonna stay down for long. Finally, Derrick Henry got his yards. He got me some relevant fantasy points this past game. Led me to beat Holly. Blow him out. Matter of fact, blew Holly out this week in fantasy.
You were scared.
I was scared after after the Thursday night game because they put your percentage up to win a whole lot more than it was previously. But yeah, I didn't have to worry. He said the game was very close. I think what killed Vegas was, the third down efficiency was only 8%. You're not going to win games if you're going to get 8% third down efficiency. So that tells you everything you know right there. The fact that what's his name, Devontae Adams, his contributions wasn't that much except for that one touchdown and that many yards and that many receptions. But it also might go to show that the Titans were locking him down because the other dude, the dude we talk about, Matt, whatever his name is, for him to
Mac Hollins.
Yeah, for him to blossom like that just means they were shutting Waller and Devontae Adams down, and just somebody else got was able to benefit off of that. But you're not going to be able to do that every time, shutting down both of those guys. But that's why they had the low numbers they had. But I still got faith in the Titans. I think they can be a very good team, and this is just a step forward to the rest of the season to get things done. But I picked the Titans, and they won.
Yeah, I think the Titans are gonna.
Hold on. Thank you.
Yeah, I think just real quick. I think the Titans are going to have to get Dontrell Hilliard a little more involved in the run game too, because Tannehill only threw 27 times, so and they won. So it's just like if they continue to lean on their run game. I mean, they had 109 rushing yards total. They continue to rely on their run game, and Tannehill doesn't have to throw 30, 40 times. More than that. They will definitely get back in the race, and that division is definitely open. So, all right, let's move on to the next game. Shouldn't be a whole lot to talk about on this one because it was a blowout.
Well, apparently it is because I guess Sean didn't realize that the Eagles just spanked his team while he's talking about how they're gonna beat the Cowboys.
Oh wow, he's a Washington fan talking that.
Of course he is. Of course he is.
Sean who?
Sean Lee in the chat in our group.
Wow.
Pay attention.
Let's
I can't see the name.
Let's get into these numbers then. Since
we don't need to talk about this. Look, they lost. Let's go.
Whatever.
Oh no. When the Dallas lost to the Tampa Bay the first game, y'all wanted to milk that, so we're gonna milk this too.
Yeah, exactly. So the Philadelphia Eagles traveled to the Washington Commanders and put a whooping on them. 24-8. Jalen Hurts 22. Look, man. All right. So let's have him muted. Jalen Hurts was 22 for 35, 340 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. He was sacked 3 times. Miles Sanders rushed 15 times for 46 yards. Jalen Hurts was second leading rusher, 9 carries for 20 yards. Leading receiver was Devonta Smith, 8 receptions, 169 yards, 1 touchdown. And A.J. Brown was second behind him, 5 receptions, 85 yards, 1 touchdown. The Eagles did have 1 fumble. They didn't lose. They had to recover both of them. So on the flip side, Carson Wentz, 25 for 43, 211 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. The man was sacked 9 times. That's crazy. 9 times. Wow. Antonio Gibson, 12 carries for 38 yards, 1 touchdown. Terry McLaurin, 6 receptions, 102 yards, no touchdowns. And Washington had 2 fumbles. They lost 1, recovered 1. All right, so I'll go first on this one. I don't have a lot to say. I picked the Eagles. I got this one right because the Commanders are just bad right now. Just plain and simple bad. You don't even need to say anymore. Mark, who'd you have in this one?
I took the Eagles in this one also. 9 times getting sacked. That's a lot. Right. Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith were connecting pretty good in the game. I got to give Jalen Hurts pass protection was pretty good on here. But, what makes me laugh about this game is Carson Wentz a couple of years ago was the number 1 man for Philly. They questioned them drafting Jalen Hurts. And now look how it switched. And it's almost like Carson Wentz, this might be his last shot for getting a starting job in the NFL. But it's crazy how the two situations, the quarterback switched around now. But I took the Eagles and I won it.
Brian, who you having this one?
Yeah, and that's what we were all in lockstep. I picked the Eagles, man. Herman's right; they dominated. They had 68 plays for 400 yards. The Commandos only had 74 plays for 240 yards. It wasn't a good game. It was boring. I think the Commandos didn't even score till like the fourth quarter. Eagles dominated. It was embarrassing, and I picked the Eagles.
It was interesting, real quick though. Even though the Eagles dominated,
You already went.
no, just real quick, they only dominated one quarter.
Well, really, the first half.
Did he just leave the show? But I mean, because there was no scoring the rest of the game for the Eagles. He really
I hope that wasn't on purpose.
I kicked them back out. Oops.
Kick me out for.
Just stop.
Go ahead, Marcus. But I just thought that was interesting, though. Even though they dominated them, but they only scored one quarter. The Eagles did.
So yeah, I picked the Eagles because I thought it was pretty obvious going into this that the Commanders didn't have a chance. I was just hoping it would be competitive. It obviously wasn't. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to blame this on Carson Wentz on his non-sack. I just blame it on the whole team and the coaching, to be honest with you. Even though Carson Wentz probably need to get rid of that ball a lot sooner. It was just a terrible game for the Commanders. I picked the Eagles because I think it was pretty obvious. That's why I got them ranked number 2 in the power ranking. So it is what it is.
Marcus, you know why too?
Why what?
The fifth Beatle went to that game. He's bad luck.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
I found it funny. I hope she sees this. The fifth Beatles' sister-in-law was also at the game and wearing an Eagles jersey when I could have swore she's supposed to be a Washington fan.
Oh, really?
But
You
since her
can't-
new man's an Eagles fan,
I'm about to say you can't really devote there. They switch up. So
I'm just saying.
Ooh,
Blindus.
okay.
All right, moving on.
I see no
The
post.
Houston Texans rolled into Chicago, but they couldn't squeak out the win. They lost 20-23. Davis Mills, 20 for 32, 245 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Damon Pierce was the leading rusher, 20 rushes for 80 yards, 1 touchdown, and the leading receiver for the Houston Texans was Chris Moore, 3 receptions for 63 yards. On the flip side, Justin Fields, 8 for 17, 106 yards, and 2 interceptions, and he was sacked 5 times. Khalil Herbert, though, 20 carries, 157 yards, and 2 touchdowns, and Justin Fields had 8 carries for 47 yards. The leading receiver for the Bears was Cole Kmet. Is that how you say it? Kmet.
Yeah.
2 receptions for 40 yards. Wow. Marcus, who'd you pick in this one?
I actually picked the Texans. I didn't have much faith in the Bears, but the Bears ran all over the Texans. I'm gonna put the Texans in a class the same way I'm gonna put it in the Lions. They're good, bad teams. Like for them
Bad team.
to not have won any games, they look awful good in the games they lose. So I was saying they're good, bad team. Huh?
Haven't lost
Yeah.
them all.
They tied a game, so
Well, yeah, but they look for them not to have won a game. They look good in not winning. So I'm actually a little bit surprised by the Texans. I don't know. Maybe Lovie Smith can get things right down there. We'll see. But I picked the Texans. I was wrong. The Bears, despite Justin Fields' performance, were able to pull it out through their rushing game. So
yeah, I picked the Bears in this one. I got this one right. I only picked the Bears because of how bad the Texans are. I don't know where the Bears are going with this. 17 attempts. Justin Fields passed 17 times in the game for 106 yards. Like they're 2-1 right now, but
they had 281 rushing yards.
Yeah.
You don't need that many passing
And then
yards.
Herman,
I know,
if you
but-
watch that game too, he was ready to run every freaking play. He never wanted to stay in the pocket.
Yeah,
It
he
was
was,
I know,
first
that's-
round.
he was ready
Yeah,
to
that's
run.
what I'm-
he wouldn't wait for the play to develop. He was getting ready to take off and try to run.
But yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, this is not going to be a winning formula. Like,
Not at all. Not at
at
all.
some point, you're going to have to pass. You're going to get into a 2-minute drill, and you're going to have to pass. And this is not going to work. So, I mean, I picked the Bears this week, and like I said, only because of how bad Houston is. So I got
agree
this
with
one
you.
right.
Especially with Green Bay and Detroit in
In
that
the
division.
and Minnesota.
Yeah, and Minnesota. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I picked the Bears. I got it right, but they Justin Fields, they got a lot to do with him. They got a lot of work.
But but they didn't really need to pass that much. They had 280 something rushing yards. Why you don't even need to pass if you got that many? 281 rushing yards. Do you need to pass that much?
You need to pass in the NFL. It's like you're gonna need to pass. Maybe not.
Yeah,
you need
I
to
agree
pass
with you
this
eventually,
game.
but in that particular game, if you got that many rushing yards, you don't need to pass that much. But you are right. Eventually, they are going to pass.
Brian, who'd you pick?
Yeah, I picked this one wrong. I picked the Texans. I was drinking Texans coffee, I guess. But I mean, you know, they actually had a decent game. I mean, they had 57 plays for 329 yards. The Bears had 62 plays for 363 yards. The Texans did get the Fields. They sacked him 5 times. And then, you know, like Herman said, Davis Mills threw that costly pick on that one drive. They were trying to go down to score, which helped seal the win for the Bears. So I picked the Texans, man, but I was not impressed by that Bears win.
Mark?
Yeah, I took the Bears. Khalil Herbert had a career high rushing, 157 yards, 2 touchdowns. After David Montgomery had an exit early in that game with a knee and ankle injury, I thought that was impressive for him. Did you all hear the Bears fan booing at halftime? They right before the half, the Bears opted out to run out the clock instead of calling. They had 3 timeout instead of calling timeout. They were down by the Texans by only 1 point, so they could have had enough time to run down there, get in field goal range, and kick the field goal and probably be up by 2 points. But the fans were booing them at halftime. But I took the Bears and they won it, so I won this one.
They probably couldn't pass the ball down the field.
That's what I'm thinking too, Herman. They probably were content with being down by 1.
Exactly.
They just figured it's the Texans. We'll find a way to win it. Yeah, it don't matter.
All right, so let's move on to the high-scoring baseball game that we had on Sunday night. The San Francisco 49ers traveled to Denver to take on the Broncos. Jimmy Garoppolo was 18 for 29, 211 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, and he was sacked 4 times. Leading rusher for the 49ers was Jeff Wilson Jr., 12 carries for 75 yards. And Deebo Samuels was the leading receiver, 5 receptions for 73 yards. On the flip side, Russell Wilson, 20 for 33, 184 yards passing, no touchdowns, no picks, and Russell was sacked 4 times. Leading rusher was Javonte Williams, 15 carries for 58 yards, and the leading receiver was Cortland Sutton, 8 receptions for 97 yards. I'll go ahead and start this one off. I picked the Broncos, and I got this one right. I guess it's the new offense that Russ is dealing with or going through right now, trying to adjust to it. I don't know what's going on. It just seems like he's running for his life again.
It just seems like he's just off. He's not in context with his receivers.
Yeah,
they can't stay focused on the running game. It's just a mess.
It's just a mess. Yeah, okay, but he paid a lot of money for Russ to come in, and for this is what they're 2-1. Don't get it wrong, but again, the way that they look now, they got a lot of work to do moving forward.
Especially in that division.
Yeah, they're fortunate to be 2-1, but right now they're not impressed. They're not impressing me, and they're not impressing a lot of people at all. Nobody's scared to play Denver right now, so it's ugly. It needs to get better quick. But I did pick Denver. Just because they were home. So I picked them over the 49ers. I got this one right. Mark, who'd you have on this one?
I took the Niners in this one, y'all. The Broncos are struggling again in the red zone. they can't put the ball in the end zone on long drives. They would have had an 80-yard drive in this game, and they still couldn't come up with a touchdown. I thought another crazy fan experience. The Broncos fans were counting down the clock for them, almost like a basketball game. I don't know if that they marking them or they trying to help them out, one or the other. But Nathaniel Hackett to be a first year coach, he in the third game he's on the hot seat right now. His sense of urgency as far as getting plays in is very, very crucial and it's critical. And his play selection is questionable. So they've got a new owner, new ownership. They gonna be looking at this with a fine tooth and comb. We're gonna see what Nathaniel Hackett can do going forward. But I took the Niners in this one. I got it wrong.
Marcus?
I took the Niners also. I didn't expect the Broncos to win. Like you guys said, they were looking terrible. The coaches were looking terrible. And they are owned by a discount chain, so I would figure, be a discount team. But this pretty much came down to the 49ers mistakes on the 49ers part. They had 2 fumbles lost, interception thrown, 4 sacks allowed. Their third down efficiency was only 10%. The time they had less time possession at 25-31 compared to Denver at 34-29, and they had 7 penalties compared to Denver's only 5 penalties. So it was just a matter of mistakes made by the 49ers, and I just want to know what happened to this great run game that Shanahan's supposed to have. Doesn't seem like we had that anymore. Like a couple years ago when he went to the Super Bowl, it was all about the run game and different looks, and you can stick anybody in there and they can make yards. It just doesn't.
Well,
seem
you remember your boy got hurt in this game too.
Who's that?
Trent.
Trent Williams.
Trent Williams got hurt in this game too.
Yeah. That's true, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like the Kyle Shanahan offense of yesteryear at all. And they just need to prove and get back on track. And they should have won this game because Denver's looking terrible. But I picked the 49ers and I picked wrong.
And Brian, you can wrap this one up.
Yeah, I did actually pick this one right, but I think I was on the same lines with Herman. It's just that I picked the Broncos because they were home. Neither one of these offenses did much. 267 yards on 52 plays for the Niners, 261 yards on 70 plays for the Broncos. And like Herman said, man, they both quarterbacks got sacked 4 times in this game. So it was a defensive game. The offense is going to have to do something different, especially in I get the Niners, they get a little pass just because of the injuries they've had, but the Broncos better step it up.
Yeah. And the Niners, they got to stop turning the ball over too, like Marcus said. All right. Well, we're going to roll into the last game, the best game.
It's not the best game.
You
It was
guys
absolutely the best
you
game.
guys take your time talking about this game, okay? I want to make sure that everybody's nice, full analysis of this game, please.
No.
So sorry, I was trying.
You can't start.
to put a hat on. I can't. I won't start, but I gotta get that on. There we go.
Absolutely. You look wonderful, Herman. You look wonderful, sir.
There we go. Thank you. Thank you. So
You're like garbage.
the Dallas Cowboys traveled to New York to take on the New York Giants.
You see what Vince said?
Dallas,
3 minutes, sir. 3 minutes.
Dallas rolled into New York and won 23-16. Should have been a larger margin of victory, but hey, we'll take that. Cooper Rush, 21 for 31, 215 yards, 1 touchdown, no sacks. Leading rusher for the Cowboys was Tony Pollard, 13 carries, 105 yards. Zeke Elliott was right behind him, 15 carries for 73 yards and 1 touchdown. Leading receiver, who else but CeeDee Lamb, 8 receptions, 87 yards, 1 touchdown. And the man, Noah Brown, was right behind him, 5 receptions for 54 yards. Dallas had no fumbles in this game. On the flip side, the New York Giants, Daniel Jones was 20 for 37, 196 yards, 1 interception. He was sacked 5 times. Say that again. 5 times. 5 times he was sacked. Saquon Barkley starting to look like the old Saquon again. 14 carries, 81 yards, and 1 touchdown. And the leading receiver was Sterling Shepard, 5 receptions for 49 yards. And the Giants had no fumbles either. I will let Mark start this one off. Mark, who did you pick?
Remember, we already had an hour, so let's keep it short, okay?
I took the Giants in this one, and I got it wrong. Zeke looked good. He looked like the old Zeke, and Tony Pollard. I think that 1-2 combination is starting to come together for you all, which was a good thing. Down by 13, Cooper Rush led him on another comeback. That was a great move for Cooper. CeeDee Lamb more than made up for his drops early in the game with that one-handed touchdown grab. But I took the Giants anyway, and I got this wrong.
Marcus?
I took the Giants. I was wrong.
Well, why were you wrong, Marcus?
Let's move on.
Insight,
We got time, sir. Time.
People want to know, why were you so dumb in picking the Giants?
I was wrong because the Giants lost. Okay.
Brian, who
That's
did
what
you
I was
pick?
So I picked the Giants, and my reverse psychology worked as I knew it would. This game was basically a realization that the Giants were not all that they thought they were cracked up to be. Every time we play the Giants, Saquon always rips off one miraculous run, but he never beats us. Okay, the Cowboys are like 10-1 against the Giants. I mean, it's like crazy. And I'm gonna give you one fun fact before I finish. Daniel Jones is the Kirk Cousins of primetime, as he is 0-9 in his primetime games. Go
Really?
Cowboys!
I wish I had known that.
He's got a bad record.
You say you would have changed your pick on that game.
Nah, that's terrible. Okay, good lord. That was
All right.
so
His music, Marcus.
No,
So
I don't need his music.
You
Oh,
can
okay.
I have my own.
I'll play the music right here, sir.
No, I'll just thank you. I have my own music.
I would have died if you'd throw the remix in there. I would have been on the floor. I would have been on the floor.
So yes, I did pick my Cowboys to win this game. The defense is playing outstanding football, and the offense is playing enough to give the defense the rest that they need to go out there and do what they're doing. 5 sacks, could have been a lot more. I mean, I think he was pressured 19 times or something like that in the game. Some crazy number of pressures. But the biggest thing that stood out to me was not the great play of the Cowboys offense and the defense, but it was the game plan that the Giants put together. I don't know what the Giants offensive coordinator was thinking. You should have been pounding Saquon Barkley, pounding the ball at Dallas. You should have tried to wear out the defense a little bit. It is a passing league, but Daniel Jones is not a passing quarterback. He's not good. So that game plan to me was just kind of stupid. But I'm gonna wrap it up since we don't have a whole lot of time. But I did get this right. And getting these right it touches my heart when it's the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? So once again, I did pick the Cowboys, and I did get this right. All right. So let's go ahead and move into
That's a long one.
Real quick. What was your records?
Oh, I was 4-2.
I was 4-2.
3-3.
2-4.
2-4. Wow, Marcus, you might want to pick
I don't know what's going on.
All right, let's get into the this week's games that we're going to pick. First game we're going to pick is the Thursday nighter. We'll try to be quick so we can get through this. The 3-0 Dolphins are traveling to Cincinnati to take on the 1-2 Bengals. The Dolphins are giving up 3.5. I'll start this one first. I'm going with the Dolphins. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Dolphins. I actually was thinking something else, but I'll pick the Dolphins on this one. Mark, who you got?
I kind of wanted to say the Dolphins, but I'm gonna give the Bengals the home field advantage on this one. I'm taking the Bengals.
Marcus?
I'm gonna pick the Dolphins. Just said they're number one, so that's what I'm sticking with for right now. I'm going with the Dolphins.
Brian.
I'll be Mark if you want me to, Herman. 75% of the country thinks that Cincinnati is going to win.
Really, that much?
Yep. Last time they played was August of 28th of last year. The Bengals lost 26-29. I think the Bengals get this dub. I'm going with the Bengals.
Wow. Okay, it's funny because I was actually thinking about
75%?
picking the Bengals, but I'm gonna stick with the Dolphins. I put them at number 2, so I believe that they can beat them. All right,
That's just
moving on.
75%.
Moving on to the next game, we have the 2-1 Bills traveling to the 2-1 Ravens. The Ravens are giving up 3.5. Brian, I will let you start this one off.
54% of America thinks that Baltimore is going to win. Baltimore has the number 1 passing game. Last time they played was January 16th of 21. The Bills won 17-3. I think the Bills get back on their winning ways. Give me Buffalo.
Mark.
This is tough. I'm going to take the Bills Mafia. I'm taking Bills in this one.
Marcus.
Like Brian said, Mark said, it's a tough one, but I want everybody to pay attention to what Brian said. Number 1 passing game with Lamar. Stop saying he's a freaking running back. Number 1, but I'm had to take the Bills.
I'm sticking to what I said earlier. If I have to pick somebody to take on my number 1 team in the power rankings, I'm picking my number 1 team. I'm picking the Bills. All right, so we all on the Bills on that one. Yep. Next one. Why did we pick this game? We got the 2-1 Bears going into New York to take on the
2-1 Giants. That's why we picked it.
The Bears are giving up 3. I'll start this one off. You know what? I'm picking the Giants. As bad as we made the Giants just look, I have no faith in Justin Fields at this point right now. And I'm sorry. And I'm going with the Giants. I'm just leave it at that. I'm going with the Giants. I'm going with them because they're home. Marcus, who are you picking?
This is also a hard one to pick. I don't know how much faith I should have in the Bears. But I'm going to go with the Giants.
Brian?
I don't think this one is that hard. I think that well, let me say this first. The Giants are predicted to win 67% to 33%. Last game, the Bears won 29-3. I think the Bears will be able to run over the Giants like they ran over the last opponent. So I'm going to go with the Bears.
And Mark.
Brian, you're definitely not lone wolf in this one. I'm taking the Bears.
Hey, look, Marcus, I was going to switch my pick if you pick the Giants. I don't want to lone wolf the Bears.
All right, let's move on to the next one. We got the 1-2 Patriots traveling into Green Bay to take on the 2-1 Packers. The Patriots are giving up 10.5.
Packers.
Okay, the Packers are giving up 10.5.
You're doing them all wrong.
Because I don't know, dog it.
It's by the name of the team.
Oh, okay. That's why it threw me because the Bills. They had the Bills favored.
Yeah,
on the road. That's what threw me.
Yeah.
All right, so the Packers are giving up 10.5. Marcus, who you got in this one?
I know, like a couple weeks ago, I was reacting and said I wasn't picking the Packers no more this year, but with no Matt Jones, of course I'm picking the Packers in Lambeau Field too. I'm picking the Packers.
Mark, who you got in this one?
Packers going to be a Lambeau leaping all up and down this field. I'm taking the Packers.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a close game though. I still don't feel like the Packers.
You think so? With Brian,
like the Packers,
Horning or whatever they mean.
I just don't. I don't feel like the Packers are on top of their game just yet, and I feel like Bill Belichick, he knows how to take away things from the opposing team. But the Packers will win this game. I'm going with the Packers, but it's not going to be a blowout. Don't think it's going to be a blowout. Y'all act like the Packers are rolling out the best defense.
They're favored by 10.5.
That's just because Mac Jones is out, but it's going to be a close game. The Patriots will beat that spread.
Mac Jones is maybe a half a point in that. He still would probably be favored by 10 with Mac Jones playing.
All right, moving on to the next game.
Can I pick?
Oh, I'm sorry, Brian.
I mean, you're right. I'm gonna go with Green Bay as well, but
right.
America picks them 90%. Last time they played was actually in 11-14 of 2018. Green Bay lost 31-17, but I'm agreeing with you guys. Green Bay dominates.
All right. Moving on to the Sunday night game, we have the 2-1 Chiefs taking on the traveling to somewhere to play the Tampa Bay Bucks. The Chiefs are giving up 2.5 right now. That could change, I guess, depending on where they go to play the game. Brian, who you got? I'll let you start this one.
Last time they played was February of last year. The Chiefs lost 31-9. Bucks are predicted actually 66% to win. But I think the lack of the offensive firepower is going to cause Brady to lose his second one. I'm going with the Chiefs.
Mark?
I'm gonna have to agree with Brian on this one. I'm taking the Chiefs also.
Marcus?
I believe the Bucks defense will show up. It probably won't be a high scoring game, but I got no faith for their offense. And I can't believe I'm saying that with Tom Brady's the quarterback. I guess Mike Evans will be back for this one, but still, I think Julio and Chris Godwin is still out. So I'm definitely taking the Chiefs. Chiefs are not going to lose 2 in a row, and the Packers, the offense is anemic. So, I mean, the Bucks.
Right,
offense is
well,
anemic, so.
I will round it out with the Chiefs. I know the Bucks are getting what you call it back, but them having to go to Miami to train because of the hurricane, messing with their schedule and everything. It'll be a close game, but I think the Chiefs will pull this one out, especially with the fact that this isn't going to be a home game, most likely for the Bucks. It's going to be somewhere neutral. So,
all right. And with every L the Bucks take, Giselle was like, I told you so.
Right.
He right here. Y'all look terrible last week.
The last game of the week, we have the 2-1 Rams traveling to the 1-2 49ers. The 49ers are giving up 2.5.
That's the game?
Yeah.
Where did I get this from?
Okay, you got me. I'm like, am I wrong?
You're right.
Okay, the 49ers are giving up 2.5. Interesting. I will let Mark start this one. Mark, who you got?
I'm going to go with the home team. I'm taking the 49ers in this one.
Without Trent Williams.
I'm taking 49ers in this one.
Okay.
Wow. Okay, Brian, who you got?
He's lost his mind. I'm going with the Rams. 60% is on the Rams. Like I said, no Trent Williams. No way for the Niners. Give me the Rams.
I told y'all put some respect on them Rams names, so I'm going with the Rams too. Marcus?
Sorry, Vince. I'm going to go with the Rams on this one. They just look so terrible against the Broncos. I'm going to go with the Rams.
Somebody's
Yeah,
howling.
I guess wait, you went with the Rams?
I went the
No,
49ers.
he went with the 49ers.
Oh, Mark went with the 49ers. Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Marcus? I
I look good in black. That's all I can say. I look good in black.
I guess Vince will be quiet in the group this week. He won't be posting all the memes once his 49ers lose. Well, he'll be posting over the weekend and after.
He'll just be spewing cowboy hate is what he'll do.
Yeah. All right. So that wraps up the show, fellas. We're going to go ahead and give our final thoughts and then we will get up out of here. Mark, what's your final thought?
This day, 12 years ago, a little man was born. I want to take the time and wish my son, Jordan, a happy 12th birthday. Today is his birthday today. I love you, man. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Jordan. Save me some cake and ice cream.
Brian, what's your final thought?
Yeah, my final thought is that I wish Herman the worst fantasy luck he could ever have this week. In both of our group, we play each other two times this week. And I hope you lose both of them. I hope you have no wins. I hope all your players catch pneumonia or something and don't start.
Yeah, you need to win.
Because I need a win, especially in our main league.
All right. So my final thought is just with the people getting hit with this hurricane in Florida, be safe. Hope that everybody makes it through safely. And my other final thought is how long do you think the NFL will go allowing them to have regular season ties?
Jesus.
Every week.
Forever.
Let it go. Let it go.
Something needs to change. NFL, take a look at college football overtime, right, Mark?
Boring.
Absolutely, yes.
Boring.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. Thank you.
That's
They do
just like
have
the
ties
Pro Bowl.
occasionally in college football.
And
Occasionally,
Marcus-
not very often.
Take us
Um,
out, Marcus.
Before we leave, I want to congratulate my sister Kimberly. She got a job with Google. She starts on Tuesday
Cool.
as a program manager. So she's
Hey,
doing.
don't be
she's doing her thing.
looking in my history here. King.
Congratulations.
For Mark and Brian, you appreciate this. She'll be a program manager over all apps having to do with Android
Androids?
camera.
Androids,
Android cameras.
okay.
That's my
Yeah.
girl. That's my
Android,
girl.
Android camera. So congratulations to her. I'm very proud of her. But before we get out of here, I sound like Nelly. Get out of here. I want to encourage everyone to like, share, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, you can also catch it on Facebook in our Facebook group, Delay of Game, or on Twitter at Delay of Game 3, and on Instagram at the official Delay of Game. We will see you next week. Same bat channel, same bat time. We out. Peace.
You going down, Marcus. You
Same
going
back
down.
channel.
Whatever.